Hey friends, Shay here. So today I am here with a manga recommendation video for you. Today is going to be manga office romances. So I've been getting lots of requests. I put out there that I was wanting to do a recommendation video and I wanted to know what you guys wanted. Most of the responses were like josei titles or office romances. So I kind of combined the two and we're going to do office romances. These aren't just going to be josei, but there's plenty of josei hiding in here. I've got quite a few here. And I might pull some as we go through, but I'm very excited to share these with you. So first up, obviously, we're going to talk about the best office romance out there, in my opinion, in manga, and that is Sweat and Soap. Sweat and Soap follows a woman who has always been an excessive sweater and has always been very conscious of her smell because of that. As she grows up, she gets a job at a company called Lila Drop, which is just kind of like a Bath and Body Works kind of place. And one day, as she's happily looking at a display of new products, someone from the product development department ends up catching a whiff of her smell, and they feel very inspired. So they approach her and say, "For the sake of the company, can I come and sniff you every day?" And she's like, okay. So they start off very tentatively as friends as he gets inspiration, and it eventually develops into a romantic relationship. This is a very healthy relationship. You see them over the course of like a year and a half, 2 years in their relationship in the 11 volumes that we have. It's very realistic. It's not over the top. There's not super crazy things going on, but they're very realistic things that you deal with in relationships. I just absolutely adored this. So obviously this is going to be one of my first recommendations. The next one here is another very popular one, and that is going to be Wotakoi Love is Hard for Otaku. If you are a giant nerd like me, this is an office romance for you because we have two childhood friends. One is a fujoshi and the other is a gaming otaku who end up working at the same place. He's always kind of been pining for her, but she's kind of never given him the time of day. And she's frustrated because she hates keeping part of herself from people that she dates. And he's like, well, why don't we try dating? And things kind of go from there. There are 3 couples essentially that you follow throughout the course of the series. I adore every couple. So I love everything about this series. Definitely check this one out. It is a solid, amazing one, and you won't regret checking this one out. The next one I have here is Something's Wrong with Us. This is a unconventional office place romance, but they do technically work together at the same company. So essentially we have our female character who wants to get a job at a particular confectionery because that confectionery accused her mother of murdering the male patron, like the heir to this company. And it's just a very interesting, messy dynamic. They end up in a relationship of convenience, essentially, that does develop into actual feelings. And it gets super messy. At the end of almost every volume, you're going to be like, what on earth did I just read? Where's the next volume? This is a very intense, high-paced, messy, dark romance where they do work in the same place. So this is an unconventional office romance recommendation, but I'm throwing it out there because they do work in the same confectionery. So I just want everybody to read this series. So any excuse I have to wreck it, I'm going to. And this is a fabulous josei series. So if you're one of those people just looking for a good, solid josei, Something's Wrong with Us is definitely going to scratch that itch for you. The next one is not a josei, but still one of my favorites, and that is My Senpai is Annoying. So this is an office romance between 2 coworkers. He's a big, burly guy. She is this little tiny girl. She's not a girl, though. She's a woman. She's just very short and petite, and so he like towers over her. And they have the sweetest, most pure relationship. It does definitely start as she has feelings for him, but he's not showing any feelings back for quite a while. But once he starts to show feelings back, it just gets better. There are several couples that you'll follow throughout. It's a really fun, more comedy-driven style office romance, but it is still a very underrated one in my opinion. This one does have an anime as well. So if you're curious, maybe try a few episodes of the anime before picking it up, but I definitely think it's worth the pickup. I absolutely adore it. The next one is another unconventional style office romance, and that is going to be Night of the Ice. So this is about 2 childhood best friends. He is a professional figure skater, and he can't land his jumps without his female best friend casting a spell from his favorite magical girl anime on him before he skates. So they're kind of coworkers like that in the beginning, but she does become more involved. She becomes his nutritionist and helps keep him healthy and things like that to stay around and to help him. And the way this one develops is great because you see how his sport matters to him and how he starts off very innocent, but you see that he starts to learn to take responsibility so that he can be a good partner for her because she's already like in another job and has some other things going on throughout the series. There is some medical things going on later in the series, so if medical related content is a trigger for you, just know that that's there later. I'm not going to give you details as to who or why or what, but just know that that is present. The next one is a manhwa technically, but it doesn't have a demographic classification, but I would call it a josei because it's definitely geared towards adult women when I looked it up. And that is What's Wrong with Secretary Kim. This is amazing because we have kind of the a-hole office guy who thinks, you know, his farts smell beautiful. That is just his personality. And all of a sudden, his secretary of 9 years, who's put up with his crap for all this time, comes and says, so I'm going to be leaving the company. You need to find a new secretary. I'm going to line up some interviews for you. And he's like, what? What's wrong? What did I do wrong? Is she not paid enough? Like, he cannot figure out why she wants to leave. And so it's this whole journey of him trying to figure out why. And he's not realizing that he has deeper feelings for her than just boss and subordinate. And he doesn't know what to do with it because he's kind of dense in that way. And so it's just a really fun series. It is full color because it's a manhwa. It is amazing. I love everything about it. I'm obsessed. Obsessed. So definitely check this one out. This next one is another unconventional one. I like the unconventional office style romances because they're work colleagues, you know? So the next one is a bit of a stretch, but I'm putting it here anyway because I think more people need to read it. And that is Love After World Domination. This one currently is in Kodansha Digital Jail, but we are going to talk about it here anyway. So essentially, our male hero is part of a Power Rangers style group that's fighting against these big bads, but she is one of the villains of the big bads. But they end up having amazing chemistry on the battlefield. And he ends up wanting to date her because he can't stop thinking about her. And it becomes this beautiful, adorable romance for them. And I love everything about this. Like, it is so fun. It is so weird because they will basically schedule battles together so that they could go on like little dates. While everybody else is fighting, they're off in a corner, like, having a date, and it's the most adorable thing. It is so precious. My husband and I watched the anime together and absolutely adored it, but the manga is just as fun. So definitely check this one out. The next one I have here is Mr. Bride. Now with this title, you wouldn't assume it's an office romance, but we have a very career-driven female lead and a much more domestic male lead. And so he comes in, like he's like technically training with her, I think is what it is. And they end up having to go to her apartment for something, and he sees the state of it, and he's like, no, this will not pass for my senpai that I adore. And so he starts like doing all the domestic things, and they slowly like move in together, and it just gets cuter and cuter as you go. So definitely check this one out. Another one that's in Kodansha Digital Jail, but I love it. I absolutely love it. I need to read more volumes of this. I've read the first 4, I believe. The next one, not everybody's gonna love, and that's My Boss's Kitten. So technically, she is abandoned by her fiance at the altar, essentially. He says he can't go through with it, and she's left with this apartment. But what she doesn't know is that the apartment's already been rented out to her boss at work. And so he lets her stay there as long as she agrees to be his kitten. So it's got that kind of power dynamic. So that's why I'm like, this one won't be for everybody. But it does get really sweet and wonderful as the series goes on. It's only 7 volumes. And I really ended up enjoying this one. Again, another one in Kodansha Digital Jail. So you're getting lots of digital jail recs today. I'm sorry, but that's where they live. The next one is My Pink is Overflowing. This is a shoujo style office romance. Again, it's more of a workplace romance than an office romance on this one. They work at the same restaurant. He's technically her boss, but she has a thing for guys in white button-up shirts. And so she keeps essentially popping the equivalent of a boner for a woman and getting bloody noses. anytime she's thinking about her boss that way. And they decide to date. Things start to develop. It is higher smut. She takes his virginity because he was a virgin, and it's so good. Like, I love everything about this series. It is so fun. And again, another one in Kodansha Digital Jail. So more people need to read this series so we can get it physically. Pretty please. Pretty please. And then the last one I have here is actually a male one. And that is going to be Cherry Magic. Cherry Magic is the quintessential gay workplace romance, in my opinion. So this man, the dark-haired man, when he turns 30, realizes that because he's still a virgin, he can hear people's thoughts. And he finds out that his male coworker has the hots for him. And so they slowly develop their friendship into more of a relationship. And it's amazing. That's all I'm going to tell you. But the dirty, filthy thoughts this man has about his coworker is amazing. And I love it. I love it so much. But that is my dirty, filthy soul talking here. I do actually have one more that I'm going to throw in. It's a recent finish on a series, and that is Donuts Under a Crescent Moon. These are two women who work together who have a very pure and precious friendship that develops into a romantic relationship. So I had to throw that one in here. It's one of my all-time favorite Yuris, so please check this one out as well. So there's a nice batch of office/workplace romances in manga. If you're here just because you love me, leave me your favorite office supply emoji down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.
It's been raining for days now, been running like a child. Can't feel the cold, well I'm lost here with you, lost in these woods. Lost as I should.